We're on a mission to rid the world of bad video.
Bye-bye.
This is the DV Show.
Target in range.
Bad video sucks.
Hey, welcome to another edition of the DB Show Live. It is so nice to have you here on this Thursday, January 11th, 2024. My name is Ryan, and I thank you so much for joining me on this live edition of the DV Show podcast. You know, it's been so fun, so much fun being behind this camera and actually coming to life, because for so many years, I've been doing a podcast for 20 years, where many of you listen, and 19 years, sorry, I keep saying 20, I don't know why, but many of you think, you know, hey, I listened to this voice for so long, what does he look like? And here I am, live on LinkedIn, YouTube, and Twitter. It is so nice to hang out with you today on Thursday. It's been nice to hang out with you during the entire week, because we've been on a journey through AI and video production. That's been the topic all week long. And we've had some really cool guests on this show so far. I mean, we had Philip Werner, the founder and CEO of MakerSuite, talking about his tool that simplifies video production. We had Nick Camp come on the show yesterday, and his insight was just absolutely phenomenal. He's a video professional who has adapted to the AI technology and really gave us some good stuff. And today we are talking to David Nordin, who talks about his tool called Edmond.ai. And this is an amazing tool that we want to get into today. And if you've been following for the entire week, you've been following the theme. You know, I was kind of reluctant at first to come on streaming and basically say, you know, here I am, let's talk about AI, which in the creative community is super, super controversial right now, because many of you are thinking that you're going to lose your job. AI is going to flush you out. You're going to, this whole dynamic, this whole paradigm is going to change. The industry is changing, which it is, okay? And I went over a word for this year in 2024, and that is the word adapt. Now, I'm not trying to throw vinegar on any wounds here. So if anyone lost their job to AI, I totally can relate to you, okay? And I empathize with you. I don't want to throw salt on anyone's wounds. But what we've learned this week, as it goes in the video production world, okay, in the world of video production, I'm finding out, talking with professionals all week long, and today is only Thursday, we have one more day, but I have come to find out that AI is simply just a tool to enhance video production, to make our job easier, okay? That's it. So if you are just getting into the video production world, if you want to become a freelancer in the video world, you gotta think. And I was at a networking event last night, and I felt like I was the Chicken Little in the room. And I hope that they understand, and that you understand, that AI in the video production world, you have to kind of adapt to what's going on in the industry and the technology. And I noticed just by talking with Phil, spoke with Nick, and today we're talking with David from Edmond.ai. I realize that these founders, these people within the video production industry, especially David and Philip, who are founders of tools for video professionals, they saw a need to improve their video production workflow. They saw that need, and they created a product with AI to make that job easier. They're creating these tools. So to be honest with you, I've been involved with AI, in the Boston area. There's many incubators that are starting up, and they claim to make things easier for video production. And I have to tell you, if you're a company founder and you haven't had a background in video production, I'm not going to become a part of your product. Because I know just by talking to many of you that you have built that product to assist us in our jobs in the video production community, not to eliminate them. So I'm all for any product that is, or service that related to AI that enhances our job, makes our job more efficient, enhances our workflow, makes our videos better looking. It gets rid of bad video. And speaking of bad video, that's our mission. We are on a mission to rid the world of bad video. You can check us out on our website at thedvshow.com. You can find all sorts of good stuff there, workshops, tips, vault, all that good stuff. But right down here in the corner, if you have a question that you want to ask us at any time, this email comes directly to my team, including me. You ask your question here, it gets delivered to our inbox, and we answer it or get into the topic on the podcast. That's a really cool feature of the dvshow.com. And that is your first step to creating better video in 2024. The second step is to click that subscribe button and go to this page here where all you got to do is put your first name in and your email, click that subscribe button, and you get a whole bunch of good stuff. Subscribe to our newsletter and just keep visiting our website. There's some good stuff always, 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 always going on there at thedvshow.com. It is so nice to have you. Now, a couple of things we've been learning this week so far, along with AI is just a tool. Artificial intelligence is just a tool to make our jobs more efficient. We also learned, I like talking to Nick yesterday. He was absolutely amazing. He had some good wisdom to share with us, and I hope you listen to that show. There's little snippets going on social media, on our social media platforms, if you want to take a listen. But it really comes down to basically that bad video is about to rear its ugly head when there's an overwhelming obsession over the tools to create video. Okay? Whether it's focusing on using the best camera, the best editing software, or even fearing AI is going to take over the industry. Okay? If you're obsessed over these tools and you're afraid of them, that's where bad video begins. It actually steals the creativity and the goal of your message. It's a thief that steals away that creativity. You should not be focused on the tools, and AI is one of them, because it's not about the tools. It's about the creative vision to bring your message or story to the big or small screen. It's not about the tools. And right now, I'm going to play for you a little snippet from Nick yesterday that I was really impressed about, and I'm going to share that. I'm going to share it with you right here, right now. So it's not about the tools, and AI included. So let's take a listen on what he said. And that's
You mentioned being on both sides of it. I think that's probably the truth of it. With any huge paradigm shift like this, there's going to be some negative consequences, and then there's going to be a lot of good things that come out of it. It's just like natural evolution. So there probably is plenty of, maybe there will be much higher expectations as far as like quality of videos. Maybe it will be too high of expectations of how fast something should be produced, because it's like, why don't you just have AI, automate everything? And so there will probably be a lot of negative consequences to it, but isn't there for everything as things evolve. It's just kind of a natural thing. And I think for video creators or filmmakers or anything, it all starts with like a vision to begin with. And so we had these tools of like video camera and video editing. As that evolves, it still doesn't change the fact that you have a vision and you're executing on it. And it's just how you're able to do that is the question mark of how you're going to be able to do that as things evolve more. Well, and look at like the creators of King Kong doing, a dinosaur fight with stop motion. And then eventually we have other movies with King Kong, even like probably this year or next year. And it's similar to where they have a vision for something and they're executing on it just with completely different tools. And so I think it's kind of the same for video creators, that these are, our community and minds will continue to evolve the tools that we're using, but we'll be applying the same storytelling techniques and enthusiasm towards it. So I think overall, I would feel like it's more exciting to see it happening and to see where it's going.
And it's so true. It's the attitude to have. It's not about the tools. It's about that creative vision, and whatever tools come, no matter where you are in the world, what generation you're in, it doesn't really matter. No, it doesn't. The tools do not matter at all. So at the intersection of artificial intelligence, which is the topic we're talking about all this week, and storytelling, really lies that creative vision. It's truly what revolutionizes how we create and share content. So again, it's not about the tools. AI is supposed to be making our jobs a lot more efficient and a lot easier. All right. So speaking about tools, if you've been following us this week, we are playing around with a really cool tool called Pictory. Now, I do want to tell you something about Pictory. I'm not getting paid to talk about them at all. They have given me, just full disclosure, that they have given me they're letting me use their platform so I can kind of test it out and maybe give a review. I don't know what this is going to lead to, but I am on their website and it's pretty much an easy video creation for content marketers. It generates more leads, boosts sales by truly turning any content into highly shareable videos using the power of AI. All right, so I was in their dashboard yesterday, if you joined me, and I used the feature that basically turns the text of any article. So I took a link from the dvshow.com. I took a link and inserted it into Pictory, and it came out with a video of that article. Now that was absolutely cool. Now I'm gonna actually pull it up here so we can take a look at what was produced. And normally this would take tons of time, okay, to do, but Pictory did it in a matter of seconds. I'm not going to say it's perfect. It is something that you can work with, and it pretty much eliminates all the legwork for you, all that mundane, boring stuff, and it pretty much spits out a video that you can later on edit and make a whole lot better. I think you can actually edit within the tool. So let's take a look at what that video was that was created. Actually, hold on a second. Hold on. Hold your horses. So we actually took a link from a DV Show Tips article.
Lessons from Buster Keaton.
All right. Yeah. Okay. You keep talking. All right. We actually took a link yesterday and from an article and put it inside of Pictory, and it made a really, really cool video. Now, it's not perfect, okay? But it would save me tons of time as an editor to do all of the things that it did. So let's take a look at the video and what was produced using Pictory.
Lessons from Buster Keaton and Charlie Chaplin in the AI era. The DV Show podcast. In the roaring 1920s, the silent film industry faced a seismic shift with the advent of talkies, transforming the landscape of cinema. By drawing parallels between these two eras, we can glean lessons on adaptability, resilience, and the continual evolution of skills. This change did not just signal a technological upgrade. It represented a fundamental shift in the art form. Lesson 3. Continuous learning and evolution. Chaplin's successful transition to talkies is well documented, but Keaton, despite his struggles, is revered for his contributions to film, particularly his silent era works. As we integrate AI into various fields, ethical considerations become paramount, much like the artistic integrity was for filmmakers during the transition to talkies. The future, blending the old with the new.
Okay. I like what that produced. Now, most of you out of the gate, let's be honest, it's not perfect. Okay. But for something where I just put a link in and it created a video from an article on the dvshow.com, I think that is super, super impressive. So we're going to look at more features of Pictory. Let's go back to the dashboard and take a look at what's going on here and what other features of Pictory that we could look at and play around with it. And then we'll get over to David Nardine, who is the CEO, the developer of a product called Edmund.ai. So let's take a look at Pictory. Let's go back home. Let's create some projects. Let's actually go back home here to Pictory and go back to the dashboard. Now, yesterday, again, this is what we did. We did article to video, and then we can say edit video using text. So what does this actually do? So let's figure this one out. So let's get a YouTube video link, and I guess, all right. Okay, let's do this. Let's put a YouTube video link in here and actually go back. And what we're going to do is edit video using text. So we're going to input video from various sources. And let's see what this does here. Let's see. All right, so we're going to use this tool, this feature of it. Edit video using text. So I guess what you do is it takes the YouTube video and creates a text version of it, which is pretty cool. All right, so instead of going through this long process, we're going to have this happen in the background. And for now, let's take a look at our interview with David Nordin and this very, very cool tool that he has called Edmund.ai. Let's check it out.
But I've been in post production for 20 years plus, something like that, and I was always frustrated about the transcribing and the manual transcribing and that process. So way back, like I don't know, 7-8 years ago, I started kind of toying with the idea of being able to read the Avid files, project files and media files. That was a bit tricky, but then 3 years ago, we kind of did like a serious effort, and we managed to solve that. And in the meantime, all these like AI tools kind of, like everyone knows, they've exploded, right? So
Yeah.
the capabilities are just kind of getting crazier and crazier. But the thing for us was basically to integrate this the transcription in an Avid Media Composer workflow, so you don't disturb the workflow. You don't need to export files or anything like that. You just read the files, then project files, the media files, and then press kind of click the transcribe, and then there you have it. So that was like the idea and the vision, and yeah, I think we're there now. Basically.
Yeah, I'd say. I mean, like, boom, you guys are like killing it. Now, is it just you or a team of developers, or how does that work?
Yeah, it's a team. There's about four people in the development team. There's another couple of people involved in the other admin and all that stuff. So it's starting to kind of come together as a small. Well, I kind of hate the word startup because it's like if you've been around like as long as I have, it's like, well, you just started a business, it's like, and then all this kind of startup thinking. But it's like it's self-funded. It is kind of bootstrapped. We've been very kind of frugal. Obviously, that takes a little longer, but we I think have been. Yeah, obviously, you run into you do some mistakes. I had led a couple of software development projects before, but not at this level. So
Yeah,
so I'm not a programmer, but
So what got you into this? Not a programmer. So I know you mentioned by necessity, right? So
yeah,
necessity kind of led you to this, and then that's a
yeah,
pretty big passion to be like, you know what, I need to fix this, and then
yeah,
you assemble a team. Tell me that journey. I mean, how did all that come about?
Okay, so yeah, I mean, the first kind of thing that I toyed with in development was actually like way back 2006 or 7. I had my own post-production company, and we didn't have any money, but we needed shared storage. So we, my partner and I, we kind of looked at this and said, how can we do this? And then we actually started building our own shared storage servers. So that's like my first kind of dipping my toes into that software development part, and that was actually something that like we used that all the time. We built like I would sit kind of with the racks of like whatever 16 drives you have, like RAID them, and I would, and so we didn't have money, so I would basically buy like consumer drives and then flash them to make them enterprise. It was kind of
We all did that, David. We all did that.
yeah, but it did work, and we did have we saved like I don't know a lot of money, and we could take these jobs basically that where you had to have shared storage. So that's where it started. And then I've kind of continued with smaller projects like that. I continued developing that into something that was actually like kind of peer-to-peer sharing, where you'd have a Mac and then connect to another Mac, and then those two can kind of share the media. But that never really turned into a like commercial product. I know that some people use it, it's like, and I think at that time is when I saw like how much I enjoyed seeing that other people use something that you built. It was just like, that's to me is the greatest joy. It's so much fun to hear people talk about, like how it actually helped them, or giving feedback, or so So it's kind of, I think there's a lot of similarities between post-production and kind of working as a team developing software, because you're, you know, in that world, you talk about like agile work, you know, structure and all that. And I think like post-production and production is like, that's kind of like agile from the start, you know, it's like, that's what we do. We just kind of, but we have a deadline, which is perhaps not the same as like a software application where it's like, well, we can release this and then kind of make it better, you know. And if you're working on a show, you know, you're gonna launch it and then, you know, you leave it, unless you're like, I don't know, George Lucas wants to go back 20 years later and kind of, you know, re-edit or do something like that. But I mean, most of us just kind of work for that deadline. But we're problem solvers. We're kind of very flexible, and we kind of try to find the best solutions all the time. So there's a lot of similarities with like the development, I think, which is what I really enjoy as well. Also because you don't want to be, I mean, you never want to be the best guy in the room. You want to be like, you want to have the smartest and the most talented people around you, because that makes you look good, you know, and you can learn from that. And you can, you know,
that's the definition of a leader right there, right? That's like, you know, having great people around you. So I know I jumped into this because I got really excited to talk to you this morning, and
absolutely,
good stuff. So what is this software exactly for those who are, we're recording this, by the way, and this is going to be on the podcast. So, and I'm going to pause a second right there so I could edit that out. So what is this? Tell our listeners what this software actually is. I mean, transcription just doesn't even touch the surface of what it does. You know, your video is absolutely amazing, and kind of describing what the software does. But let's hear it from the founder and the developer,
absolutely,
you know, the person who invented it.
Yeah.
What is it all about?
Okay, so it's called Edmond.ai. That's our website if you want to check that out.
I wonder why it's called Edmond.ai. Is it because you're from Edmonton, right?
No.
Okay.
I'm Swedish. I'm based in Stockholm.
Oh, okay.
Born and raised. So it's dark here. It's you know, past 4 o'clock. So
I don't know why I'm thinking you're in Canada. I don't know why I'm thinking you're in Canada, but whatever. Okay.
I don't know. Maybe I have a Canadian accent or something.
I don't know.
No, but it is in essence a collaboration tool. So it's you can say like it's a software suite basically, but it's only, you know, there's 2 applications, and it's collaboration tool in the sense that we wanted to make the process for, you know, a story producer, a producer, creating those selects for the rest of the post-production team, the editors and assistant editors and all those, simplified as much as we could. And we also, at the same time, wanted to speed up the transcribing and the tagging of the raw footage. So it's a product that is designed to manage like thousands of hours of raw footage. This is not, you know, primarily to transcribe your podcast. This is to transcribe the raw material for your podcast. And so we have a PC application that sits connected. You can have it on, like, if you have an Avid on like connected storage, you can have it on the same PC, or if you have like a Nexus or something, you can have it on a PC that's connected to the Nexus. And it connects to that storage. It reads the Media Composer projects, the project files, the bins, and it reads the media files, the MXF files. And it also reads and manages like group files and synced clips. So if you have like separate audio and video, like combine it into a group clip, it will handle that as well. So you basically, it looks kind of like a scaled down version of Media Composer. And you do your select, you select your clips, and then once they're transcribed, you can access them on the web application. And the web application is for searching, for creating, you know, rough cuts that we call them, that are basically selected parts of what you're looking for. So that interview, when someone says something special that you needed for that little segment in episode, you know, 13, you can find that easily. And once you find that, or like larger parts of whatever you're looking for, you export that as an AAF. The AAF is just drag and drop into Media Composer, and it links to the raw, to the MXF files.
Wow.
So just kind of taking out all those steps where you have to export a file to have it transcribed, downloads, some applications you can download like locators or stuff like that. And then, but then you have to import it, and you can only import it to like a Media Composer sequence. It's that's clunky, So we took,
Very.
yeah, and we took all that out basically. The main thing is it's like it is a collaboration tool,
Love it.
for the post team.
I love it. I love it.
That
So
sounds good.
when I first saw this, when I first watched the video, I use a third-party tool. I'm sure you're familiar with Descript. Are you familiar with that?
Absolutely, yeah,
So
absolutely.
this is very similar to
Yeah.
Descript, but it's right within Avid, and you don't have to like go back and forth between the two. Basically, this is like right internal within Avid, right?
Well, you're going to access the media through the web browser
Connected.
still.
It's connected.
But since the AAFs will always be connected to the MXF media, so it's like
Right.
if you're a team, if you're a producer, you can let your editor know that there's like rough cut, just drag and drop into Media Composer.
Very nice.
So there's, rather than having like time codes or PDFs
Beautiful.
with like a text document, we have that too. You can export a PDF or a text document.
So that one feature really makes it different than Descript because it just talks directly with those files instead of using again a third-party software, which is amazing. So did you
Yeah.
get this idea from Descript or is it like so what makes it different from Descript?
Yeah.
Let's just kind of like push
Yeah.
Descript to the side and push this on top.
Yeah, I mean, I don't mind kind of talking about the kind of competitors, but like there's Simon Says, there's Descript, there's someone called Trint, and there's like any number of these web-based applications.
Web-based.
And I think the main difference here is that this is designed to batch process like hundreds or like several hundreds of clips at the same time, with as little effort as possible. And also that once you have made your selects, it just links back to those original files in the Avid. That's like
That's huge
having
right
the-
there. That's
yeah.
huge right there.
and then there's like obviously, I think most of these applications would also just kind of add like the summary and all that stuff. It would be strange if they didn't, because it's getting to be so like easy now to do this. But then I think that's also what kind of separates us from the rest, that we do work with the Avid project and media files, where I haven't seen anyone else that actually does that or
No.
can do it.
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah. So that's an amazing feature. And it sounds like it's very fast as well. I mean, it doesn't sound
yeah.
like there's any pause or, no time within that exchange.
No. I mean, just dragging that AF into the Avid, that's seconds, Exporting takes, I don't know, 15, 20 seconds or whatever from the web application. The transcription, and also because we didn't build AI, the speech to text, we're just looking at like who does it best and who can we leverage, So if you're looking at DeepGram, who is one of our kind of suppliers, it's insanely fast now. Like you can transcribe basically a clip, like any clip, any length, in 2 minutes. And then the bottleneck here is basically transcoding and uploading to the web. So the faster the machine you have and the faster connection you have, like the more you'll get that down to as short a time as possible. But that's the nature of like just development. When we started kind of looking at these tools like a couple of years ago, they were good, but now it's just getting to be, crazy good. So
I mean, your video shows transcription of U.S. President John F. Kennedy. John F. Kennedy, I know I've tried to transcribe some of his speeches in the past, and because of his accent and his really high tone at some points, the accuracy isn't there. But I notice in your tool, I mean, at least on the video, because I didn't try it, you're still in beta, right? I'm assuming.
Yeah, but we're just now rolling it out,
rolling it out. I noticed the transcription was very accurate. And sometimes, especially President Kennedy or somebody with an accent, a deep accent or a high pitch, and the quality of the audio is not really that great on that vintage footage. It transcribed it. It transcribed it really, really well.
Yeah.
So I was really impressed with that too.
But that's one of the things, and also kind of just adding these kind of clever shortcuts. I think, like you mentioned, if in Media Composer you can tag a speaker and just say like, this is John F. Kennedy, and then once it's uploaded, you will know, Edmund will know that it's John F. Kennedy. We can also steer some other functionality with that, just by putting a locator that says, use whisper for this clip, that kind of thing. So if you have like, well, someone's speaking this weird dialect and you have 100 clips, but you want like 10 of them to be, that you want whisper to be used on 10 of them, well, you can put that locator on those 10 and then forget about it, because it will automatically select different speech text models, based on that. So there's that kind of functionality, which I see is clever, or just maybe we're also looking at the image recognition, so you can kind of, it's also already there. It's just not in the web application yet. But basically, if you don't want to, you have a bunch of like stock footage, so you just want that to be tagged, and so well, that's the Eiffel Tower, that's that's New York or whatever, to have that image recognition, so we can tag that, and then obviously searchable in Edmund, so you can also use it for stock footage if you want to add that to your rough cut.
Love it.
So
all I'm hearing is we're saving you time, Brian. That's all I hear.
yeah, that's what we're gonna do, and I think that's the whole the whole idea of it. Yeah,
it's awesome. All right, so there was David Norden from Edmund.ai. David, thank you so much for coming on the DB Show podcast. Whoa, so just want to let you know, again, I'm going to repeat this. AI is a tool to make your job easier. Now, we just got a message here from our faithful, loyal viewer, Johnny D. He says, trying to stay optimistic, but Google, Amazon, and Fitbit just laid off a bunch of workers due to AI. We're at the 0 hour to adapt. Yes, I mean, I don't know the details of those layoffs at Google, Amazon, and Fitbit. AI is eliminating jobs. I'm going to recognize that. We are talking about the video production world here. So I will look into more detail about Google, Amazon, and Fitbit and what those jobs actually were that got eliminated. But do not fear. This is the video production world. And all week long, we have been looking at AI as a tool, just a tool, and a tool to make our jobs easier as video production people. And sure, it's going to eliminate some jobs. I mean, assistant editor jobs, but it still is a tool. And throughout history in this industry, all the way back from 1920, Buster Keaton, we looked at King Kong. It's a tool to make your job easier. And again, AI is not going to replace you. A person using AI will in this industry. I mean, I'm embedded in this, and talking with these developers, with David, with Phil, with Nick, it is a tool. What comes first is that we are storytellers, that we create content that has a story to it. And AI is simply a tool to enhance that storytelling. All right, so let's take a look at Pictory. Let's go back here. And I have to admit it, I did not find a link to a YouTube video, but I'm going to do it right now. So let's go into Pictory, the dashboard. And speaking about transcription, I think the feature that now I'm playing with in Pictory, and Mark Gareth is going to come on the show on Monday. Hopefully we can talk, or maybe sometime next week when he has time, he can come back in and tell us what Pictory is all about. But I am on Pictory right now, and we're going to check out, I'm actually going to go on YouTube and find a link for a video, just any video. I don't care what it is. I'm just going to get a video. And I think one of the features of Pictory is that you can actually put a link in and get that video transcribed. So let's do YouTube tips I asked Mr. Beast how to grow on YouTube in 2024, and this is what he said. So let's actually use that link to put into Pictory. Okay, and we're going to click proceed. And I kind of like Pictory, to be honest with you. I was playing around with it last night after the show while I had some time, and I am liking it. So right now it's uploading the video in progress. It may take a few minutes, and look at that, it's really not taking a few minutes, which is impressive. And this is Pictory has like a plethora of tools, and I have not got the chance to really go into all of the tools and all of that is being offered right now. So that's what we're kind of covering on this edition of the DV Show Live. And Pictory, like I said, oh, transcription's complete. Look at that. It took the entire video and created a transcription of the video. And I guess what I can do here is, whoa, hold on a second. All right. Oh, so immediately I got in my mind right now, I got Descript. And if anyone is familiar with Descript, this looks just like it. So what this basically does is you are editing a text document. So if you want to remove some ums and ahs, if you want to remove filler words, which gives me the opportunity here, remove some silences, it's going to automatically do that. Whoa. Okay, so this is cool. All right, so I don't think there's any ums and ahs in here because I think it was edited. But if I was to take an unedited video in Pictory and put it in here, I can edit it up just based on text alone, and this saves me a lot of time. So I know that if I was to, search and replace some words, I can actually edit it out and customize video. Wow, we get a lot of options here on this feature, and I can't wait for Mark to come on the show and talk about some of these. But I already know what this does, and I think it's pretty incredible. So I'm going to show some samples of what this can do because I think it's absolutely amazing as a video editor. It saves a lot of time. So basically, again, this feature in Pictory, and I'm probably dumbing it down from what it really does, but it removes filler words, it removes silences, and you can edit, just like a Word document. If you're going to take out a word, jump on this channel. So let's see what happens here if I delete that. So what's going to happen here if I delete or replace? I can replace words. I can cut words. It takes me right to the point of the video where I'm actually just going to, let's see if I can delete that. All right. I don't know if my keyboard's working, but yeah. So look I'm going to go back down here in this text version, and it's going to bring me to that point of the video. So again, you can pretty much, transcribes the video for you. So not only can you save this, but then you can go in, look at it even identifies the speakers, which is huge. I'm excited about this. And this saves a ton of time. It saves a ton of time. So this is a great tool for editors, video editors, Pictory. All right, what I'm going to do is I'm going to fool around with this a little bit. And Mark, if you're watching, I cannot wait for you to come on the show so we can get into more detail about Pictory and what it can do. I love it. All right, so I'm going to say this one more time, closing the show. Don't worry about AI, okay? Do not worry about AI. It's embrace it, adapt with it, and don't be afraid of it. It's going to make your job a hell of a lot easier in this industry. Sure, other industries, I'm not quite sure. I don't really care about them. And I'm in the video production world, and I know this is an exciting time for us. And if you've been watching all week long, just like my buddy Johnny D, come on, if you've been watching all week long, I'm actually reading his title right there, his message. If you've been watching all week long, you've just realized that we want to make our job easier and more efficient, and there's all of these tools. And Johnny seems to be impressed with Pictory. He likes it, which is good. I'm going to start playing around with this a little more. I cannot wait for Mark Gatwith from Pictory to come on the show to give us all the features of this tool again, because I think it's amazing. I think it's absolutely amazing. Pictory. All right. All right, so we have a nice show for you tomorrow. It's going to be super, super exciting. And we have Tom Langen coming on the show. And I've known Tom for a very, very short amount of time, but I can tell you he is a pretty smart dude when it comes to video production. He is the author of the book Legendeering, and he's going to talk about the secret marketing sauce for humanizing our video productions, which is so, so important. You know, in the day of AI, it's important to build relationships through humanizing your video, and he's going to talk about that. His book, Legendeering, tomorrow afternoon at 1 o'clock Eastern Time. In the meantime, you can check us out at thedvshow.com. We're on YouTube at The DV Show. Bad Video Sucks on Instagram, Twitter, The DV Show. You can find me on LinkedIn. And, of course, you can contact me directly at thedvshow.com/Brian. Thanks for hanging out with me again today. There's so much being here. I love being with you, and I hope you love being with me to talk about video production and what's going on in this world. Thank you so much for joining me. We will be back again tomorrow with Tom Langen, author of the book Legendeering. Join me then. It's nice having you. We will see you at 1 o'clock tomorrow. See you then.
Video production just got easier. The DV Show.